Alright, stream is up. Just tell me when you can see it.
Okay, I'm on your stream.
Can you see it right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'll open. Let's go to let's open this first. Okay. So this right here is like, think of this as a separate file and like a separate file directory. Just, you'll have to let me know when it like what it's showing.
You're still placing it.
Oh, okay. So basically when it opens, you're going to see these boxes with lines in the center of the screen, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is where the coder comes into play, because basically what you're seeing right here is a puzzle plug and play version of hard coding, a program. So essentially what this is doing, this one specifically, is changing this whole part of the code is nothing but to change the foot state, right? Or the state of the decal that's used. So if I want to make it to where the character's wearing bare feet, it leaves a decal of a bare foot when I run through water or mud or blood or sand or snow, right?
Roger.
So this is what makes that happen. Now, somewhere else, like say when I'm building my items, right? And I make it to where you put on boots. Well, those boots, I would attach a decal. And what that would happen is that when you put those on the character, I'd have to code it to where when those get equipped, it triggers this code to change the decal to that boot. So you'd probably have like a general decal for boots, like hiking boots, and then all tennis shoes have a general decal. So, and that decal is a 2D parallaxed image. You can make it 3D if you want, but it would take that would take up more assets. So that's
You only need 2D for the imagery.
right. So that's all that's doing. Then you have all of these are different blueprints, so different sections of the code. And all of these are separate like this, excuse me, so that they can feed into the main branch of code. And the main, so basically think of that like the main branch of a tree. And then all these are the small limbs and roots. So if I go to main character, mode interface, nope. I want to go to, not you, this blueprints. So this is my main character blueprint. There we go. Can't remember which button it was. So this one is an interaction input. And basically, if I do weapons, I have to put that code in there to check, and then if it is, then it branches. Standard true false branch statement here.
Yeah,
And
see
then,
the choice, the decision, and the outcome.
right, but you have to do that for everything that you add in, so every system. And then all of this ties in, basically this input action combat mode is played into the main tick, so that main engine tick that I was talking about. And then you have other little things. So you see that pill? That is the character collision. So my feet that aren't inside that pill or whatever can go through like a wall, like anything else that has a collision. And
Right, that's it. Like I said before, the hitbox type thing. So yeah, right, I get you.
Yeah, so right now, since I don't have any kind of combat system in, I don't have a hitbox per se, right? But when I put in my combat system, I'll have to make a determination of what kind of hitbox I want. And I could make it a pill like this, or I can tailor it to each individual body part. Normally what people do is they do head, chest, legs, and arms. So the arms are like just a standardized square, regardless if the elbow's in or not. But yeah, so I mean, there's like, and the main branch has stuff like core system things, like how the IK system works, and essentially, and how the stamina works, and how you can crouch. And so like this camera view right now that we're looking at, I can adjust where that camera is in third person. If I want it further back or whatever, and then you obviously can build your graphics settings UI for players to interact with.
Yeah, I follow.
So, but anyways, I have the system set up. Obviously, I'm in water right now, right? You can hear the sound, and then when I walk out of the water, it's going to leave water blue footprints. These are my item pieces that I was practicing with because I started my inventory system. And then I gotta remember which button I set the other thing up to. Shit. I'll have to figure out which one I set the other button. But anyways, I have another button that opens up to where I can equip this stuff, right? I want to say like this was me trying to start a blueprint for armor and clothes and shit like that. So like this shit over here is mud. Same thing. The IK system, or the key system that I was talking about, you see how his foot, well, you really can't see it, can you? But
yeah, no, I got what you're saying. The footprints on all sides.
well, like how it auto levels. If you can see right here, like this is a platform. I stop the character on it, and he auto levels his feet out. And this one I think is snow, and his feet will mold. Basically, the whole purpose is to make it look more natural, because his feet will mold to the surface. And I believe I set the door up. Not that door. Must be this door. To use a key. I think that's what that was for. Let's go here and oh, well, there's my equipment button. So obviously all of this is stuff fucking a little fucked up right now, but alright, so you see how the gun is in my hand in that specific way.
Oh, I get exactly what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, that's because I put the socket. So I did the socket there. That's why it's there. Now I'd have to go in and code in like putting it on my back, right? Storing the weapon away. And I can make it have motion and movement and all that kind of shit. But basically I got to the point where I was starting to fuck around with, like, since I have this rifle done, I can do anything. Like if we made like 6 assault rifles that have the general size, you could essentially throw them in as blueprints with the mesh and then adjust the mesh and you're done. You got 6 rifles in the game, right? The circles you're seeing around objects, that's how close you can be before you can get it, and it'll highlight. Like you see how it's highlighting green.
Interaction menu.
Right. So I had to make all that as a system. But yeah. So everything right now is also real-time physics with the character. So when I jump on this, he'll real-time react with his feet and his body to auto level. That's all part of the IK system.
Yeah. So it's all we need is a coder.
And then I have health working and stamina as well. I still need to work on the run speed though. It's way too fast. Just need to dial it down. It doesn't match the animation. It drives me nuts. But like all the crouch stuff, the run stuff, all that stuff you have to do. And then there's one more thing I want to show you real quick. Is how animations. I want to show you the animation thing. So these are all like pre-done animations, right? But you can make blend space animations, which is it this one? Okay, yeah. So this one's a blend space animation of him running. Essentially what you're seeing here is a bunch of static things have been put in here, and then right now it's only showing you like the complete thing, but when you're making it you can choose where you're at in the animation and how you want it to blend, and basically it will work off controller movement or character movement. So if you're looking one direction, it'll let your mouse look, and basically if you set up your static positions correctly, it won't make your character look retarded, you know, because they're looking left or looking right while you're running. So it allows for more fluid motions between your animation and character movement. It just makes it look more fluid, more real. And you can get real in depth with that shit.
Can we add our own animations?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. All of these are built. These were all built animations. So they're either like this animation, this prone animation. This one was done in probably Blender or 3D Studio Max and then brought over. And then you can also make animations inside of this editor as well. By literally doing frame by frame.
I've got a scanner cam where basically, if I stand there and scratch my bollocks, it will copy the movements.
Right.
Do you get what I mean? So,
can you import that into 3D Studio Max or Blender?
No, import it into anywhere. It's a scanner that does lifelike renders. So whatever I do is transferred across.
Oh yeah. Well, if you transfer it into either one of those, like it's always best to bring it into Blender or 3D Studio Max first, because then you can build your skeleton to basically in one of those to whatever your mesh that you're wanting to use is, and then match your animation in one of those first. That way it's less work when you bring it into the engine, because then when you bring it in the engine, all you have to do is put the skeleton in.
Well, the reason why I say that is say you said to me, for an example, I want an Iron Man suit from me, and I build one. I get your measurements, I put it in, and then I do an animation of bending my arm, bending my leg, with your sizes in it, and then I'll watch the video of it, and then I can actually physically see on the model where the parts go to crush or bind or touch, and then I cut them out. And that's what I've used that program for forever.
Gotcha. That's my overall fucking character blueprint that should be showing up on at some point.
No, that's impressive. We need a coder.
So, and then this is the skeleton. So this is where you can literally, it'll pop up for you here in a minute, but this is where you can set your skeleton up in general, right? And then say like, say you want an item to move properly, like, I'm trying to think. Like, say you're doing a knight, right? And you're wanting to make armor for this knight, but you're not wanting it to be part of the mesh. You're wanting it to be interchangeable, like you can get new, better armor. So you would come into here and you would make sockets for the chest or whatever, and you would put that object on the character and position it properly. Like what I have with the rifle here, right? So the rifle here, if I can get it to where we can see this shit.
You know what I mean? You can change that rifle out now for something else.
Well, that rifle, I've made a socket and I've positioned it properly from there. Because once I do that, no matter what animation I throw on this skeleton, if he's holding that rifle, it's always going to be in the right spot. Always.
And the same if you added the sword.
Exactly, yep. So this is what I was talking about, like, I don't understand why it clips in certain things on Scum, because what it means, or at least what I think the issue is that when they're doing their blender animation for running with the rifle in the low ready position, and you look a certain direction, they don't have...
It's just the outer skin.
Well,
that's what it is.
Well, they need. Well, it'll position for that, but they need to have a new. They need to basically throw one more static position in their animation blend, their blended animation, to where it when you look, because it only happens when you look one way.
I know what you're saying. Basically, what they've done is they've got one animation, and if you're a skinny guy and you're running, yeah, it looks great. If you're a fat guy and running, not so much. It's sinking into your chest and stuff like that. I get what you mean.
Yeah, well, it's only in one direction that it's happening. Just means that they need, when they're doing their blended animation, that they need to have more than one.
Might just be an oversight.
Well, yeah, it probably is, but still, it drives me fucking batshit. And it could be really easy to fix.
Right. Based on what I've seen and your enthusiasm, we need to find a coder.
Like this animation, I started working on.
But not one of them to yeah, pay me to do this like on Fiverr and shit. No, we need to find someone who's a coder.
Oh, that's right. That was supposed to be my backpack. That was my placeholder backpack. And then you can actually give it its own partial physics. I mean, you can give it full physics, but if you want to keep it where it runs pretty smooth with a lot of stuff going on, you can give it partial physics so it can have sway. You know, in the Division, the tassels and the items move on the backpack.
Yeah, that's a major multi-million-pound company. You don't want to go too much in depth.
Well, that's the thing. You can do that stupid simple in this engine. Literally, it's ridiculous how stupid. And then you can have it not do animation when it's not equipped. So like if you throw it on the floor, it's not sitting there still trying to do physics animations. Or well, physics.
I is intrigued.
You should have been intrigued, motherfucker, like months ago when I was in depth on this shit.
I was, but I was
Now,
working your guns.
now I gotta go back and remember. There's so much shit I've forgotten now.
To be honest, I actually think I think I know a few guys who do this shit. I'll put a post up tomorrow.
What's the other thing? Oh, I got my damage splash screen in too. Kill myself though. Kind of start to see it come up now.
You can see the slight blood.
Yeah, and it gets worse as you get more damaged. Oh, you motherfucker. Yeah, but I mean, I did this in what? I learned enough to do this in like month and a half. There we go.
Yeah, I'll put up a post tomorrow. I'll put out a few feelers. I'm sure to God I know a few guys who do this shit.
I think I broke my door on that last one. I have to go in and figure out what my door is, but yeah, I had it set up to where you use a key. You have to have a key to unlock the door, otherwise it stays locked, but I'm able to run through them right now, so I've broke my door somehow. So. But yeah. And then that's where I stopped.